Hi everyone, it is officially Friday, March 14th. Welcome back to House Witch Tarot. It is the first day of Mercury Retrograde, so I thought that I would stick with another Oracle deck today, see what message we need for the beginning of retrograde with everything else going on. Again, I've gone with the Green Witch Oracle deck, which I have two of. But this one is by, let me just double check, so I always get the name pronounced wrong, Erin Murphy Hiscock. Erin Murphy Hiscock. I love their stuff, honestly. So beautiful. So yeah, I just thought that maybe like an overarching message would be great for today. So I'm sitting here shuffling these cards, seeing if something specific comes out. Again, kind of like yesterday. What is a big message that we need to hear? What are some takeaways that we need going into retrograde? Remember, Mercury controls communication, so your text might not go through. Your computer is going to shut down or freeze up. Your streaming shows are going to lock up on you, or they're not going to play at all, or there's going to be misunderstandings and like all of that thing, right? But it's okay. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. You don't want to sign contracts during this time. You don't want to buy like plane tickets during this time if you can avoid it. Just things like that, you know, anything that requires you to be like affirmative when it comes to, again, any form of communication, any type of contract you want to kind of steer away from for right now. Okay, so I actually pulled 3 cards today. As I was looking at them, I was like, I think there's more to this. I think there's more to this. So the first card that gets pulled is Trunk, which says stability, loyalty, and reliability, which was then followed by Tend, right? Which then says maintenance, encouragement, and guidance. And then the final card was Roots, which then says healthy patterns, early growth. And I think all of these cards go so well together because when we're talking about Trunk, you're talking about something that's stable, right? The core of who you are. And I think what you need to do when you think about that is going into retrograde, who are you? Who are you now? And who are you hoping to be, trying to be, working towards being, right? Because that's what's going to stabilize you. Then you have Tend, right? Like you have to tend your own garden. You have to, as we talked about, self-care, maintain you, weed out whatever isn't working for you anymore, right? Because who you're starting out as at the Mercury retrograde might not be who you are in 6 weeks. And you have to keep changing. You have to keep like taking out the things that don't work for you. And I think retrograde is really going to show us like what isn't working. And if you've been ignoring certain things, that is absolutely going to come up during this time, and you will not be able to ignore it anymore. You will have to face whatever it is that's been holding you back, and you have to get rid of it in order to grow, to be stable, to have a core and a center, and be super, super grounded, which is where Roots comes in, right? Like with Roots, it means that you have something that is deep. You have something that is literally in the ground, unmovable, right? Which is what I get from having Roots and Trunk together. That maybe wouldn't necessarily be true for everything. But you're so literally deeply rooted in who you are and the things you want and the things that you believe, that whatever comes along in the next 6 weeks, despite the fact that you might have to make some cuts to your life, despite the fact that you might have to change some things, you are exactly who you are going to be. And nothing is really going to shake that. Like a tree in the wind, right? It might move, it might blow, but because of your trunk, because of your core, because of how stable you've become through your roots, you're not actually bending. You're not actually breaking, right? So that there is something, hang on, sorry, the words are getting very jumbled here because it's like a very excited energy that I'm getting. And also Mercury retrograde, the words are getting all jumbled up. Because you know who you are and you are stable and you've been working and working and working and tending, you will come out the other side of retrograde so much better than you realize, right? Like there's going to be a sense of relief because once the storm has passed, that's what I'm hearing, a storm. Once the storm has passed, you're going to stop swaying and you're going to be here. You're going to be centered. You're going to know exactly who you are. You're going to see who is with you once everything has cleared, the clouds are gone, the rain is gone. And that is going to be really the crux of your community moving forward. I'm trying to see if there's a way to summarize all of this, because it really is quite a lot. Like I feel it in my gut, just like how strong it is. And like there's a little bit of anxiety there, I think, because there's a little bit of the unknown coming through in these cards too. And that's okay. You're allowed to be a bit anxious. You're allowed to like wonder what's on the other side, but you're not going to know until you work towards it. You're not going to know unless you keep going, as long as you're tending to your garden. Yeah, I think that Mercury retrograde is actually going to be very transformative for a lot of people. Even though like transformation isn't in these cards, it's going to be like a internal one, right? Because you have been working so long and so hard at becoming better, right? Maybe it's becoming more compassionate. Maybe it's getting better at a skill. Maybe it's getting better at communication, and Mercury is testing you on that, right? But who you are in your heart of hearts, who you know you are in your gut, those things that you react to, that you feel, they're going to be emphasized, and you can rely on your intuition coming out of Mercury retrograde. I'm not saying you can't do it during retrograde, but you are really going to know the truth of it all once it's all said and done. Woo! That was a lot. I really didn't expect that. Yeah, this is going to be so much more positive. I know people get really scared about retrogrades, but this is so good. This is so good. I hope you guys like hear that you take the time that you need to do the things that you need to do to better yourself. And it doesn't have to be big changes. It can be little things every day. It can be for you. You do not have to share those things with the whole world, right? This is about you and your progress and your path and the things that you are working towards. So I'm proud of you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.